Hello, my dear students. Good morning, everyone. This is the first episode of series of drama lecture I'm going to present for you. These lectures concern the third year classes in the translation department, College of Arts in Al-Mustansiriya University, presented by me, lecturer Dr. Hussein العسكري. So welcome to my lectures. I'm going here to present you an introduction to drama and then introduction to the first play I'm going to discuss, which is Julius Caesar by William Shakespeare. After that, I'm going to give you lectures about the second play, which is All My Sons by Arthur Miller. I hoped to give you a glimpse of what is drama. But unfortunately, technical problems have prevented me from doing that. So I'm going to go very quickly in this topic. A drama. What is drama? It is a composition in verse or in prose that tells a story. Please, my dear students, focus on the words prose and verse. Prose is the written language of the everyday life without artificial covering of the meaning, while verse is very aligned to poetry. So we notice that the plays are either written in prose or in poetry. The two plays we are going to study and we have studied during the past year, one is written in verse and the other is written in prose. There is a very clear difference in the way they were written. So it is either written in verse or in prose, and it has certain elements that make it different from the other genres of literature. The first thing is that plays are written to be performed on stage and not to be read. A drama is actually designed to be performed and to be put by actors, to be performed by actors on stage. Plays, although many plays have been published and printed to be read, but actually this is not the actual purpose of them. They are written to be performed on stage. This is why we see certain elements put by the writer of a play, who is called a playwright or the dramatist, in order to aid the actor act the words written in the play. And the other element is that they are performed in front of an audience. So while the audience, as it were, of the written literature is actually not directly seen by the writer, here the audience of the plays of a drama is actually seen. Its reaction are felt by the writer and the actors, of course. So this is the main difference between drama and the other genres of literature. Now, let us begin with the Elizabethan theater. As you know, the first play we are going to tackle is Julius Caesar. It was written by William Shakespeare, who lived in an era called the Elizabethan era, or Elizabethan times, after Queen Elizabeth I, the monarch of England. The period witnessed a very important event, which is the flourish of theater. This is why we see many of the most distinguished English dramatists appearing in that period. William Shakespeare, Christopher Marlowe, Ben Jonson, to mention only a few. The Elizabethan theatre is very distinct from the previous theatre, if it is ever called theatre, because during the Elizabethan times there are certain factors helped the creation of drama. Actually, drama was the favorite pastime for the Elizabethan English citizens. It was frequented by almost all the classes of the English society, the upper class, the middle, and even the poor lower classes. So, the Elizabethan theatre, as illustrated by this photo, is actually very simple, and there are no sceneries, and everything is left to the imagination of the audience. In other words, the audience has to imagine everything, from the scenery, the weather, the time during the day or night, the season of the year, whether it is raining, whether there is a storm, what the actors are wearing. Everything is left to the imagination of the audience. Unlike, of course, the modern stage, in which everything is available, including big screens that bring on stage things that were impossible to be brought before. So this is the Elizabethan theatre. And the other point I wanted to discuss after discussing the Elizabethan theatre is going somehow very quickly to very important thing, which is the Roman society. I mean the ancient Roman society. As you know, that the Roman society was divided into the following strata. Strata means classes. There were 4 major classes. I'm going to discuss here only 3. First, the patricians. The patricians were the ruling class of the early Roman Empire, including the noble, judges, officers, senators, etc. These were the upper class of the society. They had the privilege and the advantage of ruling Rome. Actually, Rome, during the play of William Shakespeare, was ruled by the Senate. In other words, it was not a dictatorship, not ruled by one person, which is the fruit of uprisings and revolutions made by the Roman people. The other class is the plebeians. Plebeians are all other citizens, except the ones mentioned in the patricians, and they can be equated to the lower classes during the other times of Europe. They are usually poor and uneducated. We will see that the plebeians and Julius Caesar play very, very vital role in raising Julius Caesar to power, making him a god and a hero, and then they cause the downfall of his killers and assassins. They are usually easily led, easily convinced. They can be manipulated by the use of a combination of fear and greed. These are the plebeians who play a very important role. Please, my dear students, you can consult encyclopedia or online website to know some more information about the Roman society. The final class are the clergy. The clergy, as you know, are the men of religion. They usually perform rites and perform religious ceremonies. They also have some advantages over the plebeians, but they are, of course, not compared to the patricians in the way they rule Rome. Now, another thing I wanted to discuss as introduction to the play Julius Caesar, before going on the play, is the role of women in Julius Caesar. As you know, women are an important element in every play. But is that the case in Julius Caesar? Are they important? Can the play go the same if we removed the women character? No. Actually, although they play a minor role in the overall plot of Julius Caesar, but without them, those two main women characters are actually influencing the two influential characters in the play, who are Brutus and Caesar. Because without them, they would be incomplete, and certain language could not be used. Overall, there are two women characters in the play, Portia and Calpurnia. They are placed in the events of the drama by William Shakespeare in order to show the other side of Brutus and Caesar's character. Brutus' wife Portia is a very strong character. She is a caring wife and caring mother who does everything to ensure the well-being of her husband Brutus. She shows us firstly that not all women follow the stereotype and are womanly, as most men seem to assume. The other character, Calpurnia. Calpurnia, on the other hand, is more stereotypical, but she serves to show us the more private side of Caesar. I told you, when I discussed the role of women, they show the other side of the main characters. The family man, who is as a husband and a father, is somehow different as a politician or as a senator. Caesar has apparently become somewhat superstitious of late. So when Calpurnia dreams of his death and places a great importance on it and how soon it is to pass, he tends to believe her and to make sure he asks for a sacrifice to be made. Of course, I'm referring here to the dream of Calpurnia, which is one of the omens and supernatural occurrings that warn Caesar not to go to the capital and to be assassinated by the conspirators. But he was overridden by his and overcome by his pride and his overconfidence. This is why he left his house and went to the capital, regardless of his wife's warnings. The dream of Calpurnia, of course, is one of the very important omens that I'm going to discuss later. So, my dear student, thank you for listening to this first lecture. I hope I will meet you in the coming few lectures. Thanks.